Now, on a question like this, it's a perfect example of in our triple T document, Tom's testing tips, where on tip 1, we say don't look at the answer options right away, they'll only confuse you. However, it can be useful to look at the answer format. And when we look at the answer format, we can see that all of these are quadratic functions in a very specific form. More specifically, if we go to page 34, so side 3 of our math reference documents, we can see that it follows vertex form. And in vertex form, you have the vertex as the most prominent piece of information, which you can obtain by taking the opposite of this x value. So in this case, -1, when you take the opposite of +1, comma, whatever is listed right here. So that one, you don't take the opposite of it. So if it was a +5, it's a +5 for the y coordinate. If it was negative, it'd still be negative. So in other words, we say opposite normal. So looking at this actual function, which clearly looks like it'll turn into a parabola, if we just kind of do a little bit of a sketch around it, you can see that the vertex appears to be somewhere around here, where it's 23, comma, a little bit under 1. So if we're going to represent that in our HK kind of format, with the ordered pair being, let's say, 23, comma, 1 even, when we're going to put it into the actual format where you have some a value in front and then x, and then you take the opposite of the x coordinate of the vertex, and then you take the y coordinate as is, we should have a negative here in the parentheses and then a positive outside the parentheses. So keep in mind negative, positive. So we can start doing process of elimination. This one does have negative, positive, so that one's good. This one has positive, positive, so we can eliminate it. This one also has negative, positive, so it's still in the running, whereas this one had positive, positive. So just by knowing a little bit about vertex form, we can eliminate half the answer options. And then at this point, to figure out which of these two is the correct one, if there was a really easy value to plug in, we could do that. In this case, I don't really see something that would be that easy to plug in. In fact, what may be easier is just to go to Desmos, and then if you have any other functions in there, you can click the gear icon, delete all, and let's say I just type in function A, which is 0.1, and then we'll just type everything in exactly the way that we see it. I like using my keyboard myself, so I'm just going to hold Shift 6 to do the exponent. I'll put the 2, and then when I do the plus by holding Shift and then the button directly to the left of backspace, it'll do the plus sign. And then what I'm going to make sure I do is put it on a scale that's going to be much more similar to what we have up here. So notice we're going from 20 to 31 on the x-axis, counting by ones. So I'm going to click on this wrench icon, and where it says x-axis, I'm going to choose 20, and then I'll just do the tab button, 31. I'll press tab again, and then under step, I'll press 1. In other words, we're counting by ones. And then notice for the y's, over here, we're going from 0 up to 7, counting by ones. So I'll go back, and then for y-axis, I'll type in 0, shift, 7, shift, and sorry, when I say shift, I should be saying tab, and then we'll count by 1. So now that we have that, let's see what this looks like. That looks quite similar to this graph on the side here. Now, if we want to really compare it, I mean, you could see here, this is right under 2, right under 2, so that's looking pretty good, but we can compare it with this function, which has a 2 in front instead. So I could actually just go here and change this to a 2, and when we do that, notice that looks very different. I mean, you can see at 20, instead of going up to about 1 or 2, which is what it should be doing, it's going way up here. So we can do process of elimination further and know that the correct answer is A. Now, we could have typed all these functions in and just compared them, but again, I think that if you just know the vertex component of vertex form, you were able to eliminate half the answer options right away, which to me makes it more efficient.